Did you know that right now, thousands of immigrants across the United States are driving every single day with the wrong license and they have absolutely no idea they're breaking the law? Some of them are about to lose their license, face massive fines, or even worse, get deported all because of one simple mistake they didn't know they were making. And here's what makes this even more shocking. The rules changed again in 2026 and most people haven't even heard about it yet. If you are an immigrant living in the USA or you know someone who is, you need to stop everything you're doing right now and watch this video until the very end because what I'm about to share with you could literally save your life, your freedom, and your future in this country. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is the place where we break down everything you need to know to survive and thrive in the United States as an immigrant. Hit that subscribe button right now, turn on your notifications, because we drop information every single week that your immigration lawyer probably hasn't even told you about yet. Today, we are going all in on one of the most important and most misunderstood topics for immigrants in America driving, and not just driving in general. We're talking about the updated 2026 rules, the new license process, the legal changes that just went into effect, and exactly what you need to do step by step to make sure you are 100% legal behind the wheel. Whether you just arrived in the country or you've been here for years, this video is for you. Let's start with something that surprises almost everyone. When you move to the United States, you cannot simply keep driving forever on your foreign driver's license. A lot of people assume that because they have an international driving permit or a license from their home country, they are fine. And yes, for a short period, in many states, that is technically true. But here's the part nobody tells you. The grace period varies dramatically from state to state. In some states, you are only allowed to drive on a foreign license for 30 days after establishing residency. In others, it's 60 days, 90 days, or even up to 1 year. If you drive past that window without getting a US license, you are no longer driving legally. Period. And law enforcement does check. Traffic stops happen every single day, and if you cannot produce a valid license for your state of residence, the consequences can range from a fine to vehicle impoundment to a misdemeanor charge. And for immigrants, that misdemeanor can trigger a completely different and terrifying set of immigration consequences. Now let's talk about what actually changed in 2026, because this is the part that is catching people off guard. The Real ID Act enforcement is now in full effect across the entire country. This has been delayed and delayed for years, but as of 2025 and continuing into 2026, you now need a Real ID compliant driver's license or identification card to board domestic flights, enter federal buildings, and access certain federal facilities. If your license is not Real ID compliant, you will need a passport or another accepted federal document every single time you fly domestically. This is huge. It means that when you go to get your driver's license as an immigrant, you need to make sure you are getting the right type one that is Real ID compliant, and that requires bringing specific documentation to the DMV. So what documents do you actually need? This is where most people make mistakes and waste hours standing in line only to be turned away. For a Real ID compliant license as a non-citizen, you will generally need proof of identity such as your passport, or your foreign birth certificate with an official translation, proof of your lawful status in the United States, which could be your green card, your work visa, your EAD card, your I-94 record, or other immigration documents, proof of your social security number, if you have one, and 2 proofs of your current state residency, such as utility bills, bank statements, or lease agreements showing your name and address. Every single document needs to match. The name on your immigration document must match the name on your proof of residency. If there is any discrepancy, even something as small as a middle name being abbreviated, they can reject your application on the spot. So before you go anywhere near the DMV, organize your documents, double check them, and if you have a name that translates differently from your native language, be prepared with additional supporting paperwork. Now here's something that a lot of people don't know about the actual license test in the United States. Most states require you to pass both a written knowledge test and a practical driving test, even if you have been driving for 20 years in your home country. There are a handful of states that have reciprocity agreements with certain foreign countries, meaning if your country is on their approved list, they may waive the driving test. But these agreements are limited, they change, and you should never assume yours qualifies without checking directly with your state's DMV. For the written test, you need to study your specific state's driver's handbook. American traffic laws, road signs, and right-of-way rules are different from many countries. The speed limits are posted in miles per hour, not kilometers. The rules around four-way stops, school buses, and emergency vehicles are very specific to the US system. Download your state's handbook for free from the official DMV website and take practice tests online until you are consistently scoring above 90%. Do not walk in there unprepared. Let's talk about something that is extremely relevant right now in 2026, and that is the issue of driving licenses for undocumented immigrants. This is a sensitive topic, but it is a real one, and I want to give you accurate information. As of 2026, there are currently 19 states plus the District of Columbia that allow individuals, regardless of immigration status, to obtain a driver's license. These are sometimes called standard licenses or AB60 licenses in certain states. They are not real ID compliant, meaning you cannot use them to board a domestic flight or enter federal buildings, but they are fully valid for driving on the roads of that state. If you live in one of these states and you do not have legal immigration status, this option exists for you. You can drive legally, you can get car insurance, and you can reduce the risk of serious consequences during a traffic stop. However, if you live in a state that does not offer this program, your options are extremely limited, and you should speak with an immigration attorney about your specific situation. Speaking of car insurance, this is not optional in the United States. Every single state requires drivers to carry at minimum liability insurance, and if you're caught driving without insurance, the penalties are severe. In many states, a first offense means your license is suspended, you pay heavy fines, and your vehicle can be impounded. For immigrants, this is even more critical because a traffic violation that leads to a criminal record can affect your immigration case, your visa renewals, and your path to permanent residency or citizenship. So the moment you get your license, get insurance, shop around, compare rates, and make sure you understand what your policy covers. Now I want to address one of the biggest mistakes I see immigrants make when it comes to driving in the US. And it has nothing to do with the road. It has to do with traffic stops. If you're ever pulled over by a police officer in the United States, there is a very specific way you should handle it that is completely different from what most people are used to in other countries. First, stay calm and pull over safely as soon as it is safe to do so. Turn off your engine, roll down your window, and keep your hands visible on the steering wheel. Do not reach for your glove compartment or your bag until the officer asks you to. Be polite, be cooperative, and provide your license, registration, and proof of insurance when asked. You do not need to answer questions about your immigration status during a traffic stop. You have the right to remain silent beyond providing the required documents. This is not being rude, this is knowing your rights. And knowing your rights in these moments can make a significant difference. Let's also quickly cover some 2026 specific updates to watch out for. Several states have updated their point systems for traffic violations, meaning certain offenses now carry more points than they did before, which can lead to faster license suspensions. Distracted driving laws have become even stricter in many states. Using your phone while driving, even at a red light, is now a primary offense in more jurisdictions than ever before, meaning officers can pull you over specifically for that reason. Speed camera and red light camera programs have expanded in major cities, and driving under the influence laws remain absolutely zero tolerance. A DUI conviction in the United States as an immigrant can be grounds for deportation, so that is a line you must never cross. Finally, I want to remind you of something important. The rules I've shared today are based on the most current information available, but laws vary by state and they change. The most reliable source of truth is always your state's official DMV website. Use it, bookmark it, check it regularly. And if your situation is complex, if you're on a visa, if you have a pending application, if you have previous violations, please speak to both a licensed driving instructor and an immigration attorney before making any decisions. You came to this country to build something better. Don't let something as preventable as a driving mistake get in the way of everything you've worked for. Get the right license, follow the rules, drive safely, and protect your future. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up. It genuinely helps this channel reach more immigrants who need this information. Drop a comment below and tell me what state you live in and whether any of this was new to you. Share this video with someone you know who is navigating the US system right now. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that button and join our community. We'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there.